Crypto traders are about to undergo one of the biggest traps within the market. On today's show, I'm going to outline to you whether it's long or short and which way you should be going. So without further ado, let's get into the show. You can see on the Banter Bubbles chart, of course, no surprise, red on the day. We've started to retrace the majority of that massive pump. And if you watched yesterday's show, you'll know exactly what to expect next. So we'll get onto the low time frames in a moment. I wanted to start off with a beautiful chart, which I haven't brought up for quite some time, and that is the RENKO chart for Bitcoin on the daily. It's been absolutely crystal clear and super clean. And we outlined previously the major overhead resistance zone. Let's quickly grab my tool over here so that I can show you. There we go. So we outlined the major overhead resistance over here, which was the underside retest from what was prior support, and we started to break down. That came into a retest as a rejection zone, and pretty much as soon as RENKO's candle started to turn red over there, it signaled for you to completely get out of the market, and it's been holding true ever since until such time as we come to our next major level of support, which is going to be this region over here. That's coming in at $23,991. So definitely getting very close to that level. If you look at Ethereum, I haven't shown it on Ethereum, you'll notice Ethereum has recently just printed its red candle and it's come into an important area of resistance, which is pretty much this zone over here. So we're going to have a look at a bunch of the altcoins as well and what this may mean for them going forward, because if you haven't noticed, there has been quite a slow bleed in the altcoin market and some of them are already making new lows. So does this present an opportunity? Is it time that you cut your losses and move on, or should you be adding to those positions? These are things that we want to address on today's show. So very quickly, Bitcoin on the weekly chart over here. Before we carry on, make sure you smash the like button as well. Help to get the show content out there. And then let me know in the comment section below if you got trapped in yesterday's wild swings. I don't expect anything different to take place over the course of today. Leading into the FOMC meeting coming up next week, I think we can experience more and more of these major swings. So let me know what you guys are doing in the comment section, and then remember to smash the like button. Looking at the weekly chart over here, you can see pretty much we only confirm again that higher low if we start to break above that $28,070 zone. Now, a lot of people master the fine art of catching a falling knife. Whether you want to do that is completely up to you. If you want a safe entry on a long, pretty much wait until you clear $28,000 and you confirm the higher low. Otherwise, this is all the knife catching opportunity over here. If price does come back down into the zone over here, 23,000, that is your weekly order block level, and you'll be looking to capitalize on demand into that zone, price push through, and then as long as the week closes above the moving averages over here, we have the EMA 200 and the EMA 21, the 21 being the yellow one. As long as you close above that, bulls do still have a bit of a chance. So Gaussian channel over here, same thing we mentioned yesterday. You do have a little bit of support. The only thing that's taking place over here, which I'm not really liking, is that now you're starting to see these moving averages, or the EMAs, are starting to curl back over, and this is going to create a lot of pressure. If bulls don't start to send price higher soon, then you can expect slowly but surely this is going to roll over. The white one, the short's going to cross over the longer term one, which is the yellow one, and that usually means that this would have just been a relief rally and you're looking for low prices. So it is something to watch. We need price to unfold a little bit more. You got the ETH BTC chart, which we covered yesterday as well. It is still narrowly holding the mid-range, which anything above mid-range means that ETH should technically be outperforming BTC. But I'm going to show you something that I saw on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which may suggest that this is probably going to deviate back into the range over here, something like that. So be cognizant and careful of that so that you don't get trapped on the wrong side of the trade. Same thing over here on the 4-day chart, in alignment with what I've shown you on the high time frames. There are certain levels to clear. This is a zone which is now going to act as resistance at 26,817. And if this candle turns red over here, you can expect continuation down. But if it can close above here, we have 1 day and 18 hours left. So we should know by Saturday morning, and we can front run that by looking at the CME for the Friday close. But if you can close above these EMAs over here, or the MAs at least, then you can expect that maybe this is going to be your next high low, and that $23,000 target is going to start to fall away. For the time being, remember, it is still pressure down. Why is it pressure down? Well, if I turn off the price over here, where is price currently situated? Well, it's below these MAs, right? You can see the MAs are converging into one another. The short one is now fallen below the longer term one, and the medium time frame, the green one, is on its way down as well. That suggests that it is going to be a little bit of risk towards the downside at the moment. So a bit of a no trade zone if you are somebody that's looking for an entry today. All right. Stock market trade, I cleaned that up over here. So I've ultimately marked everything out again. I showed you guys yesterday, I said this chart's got a bit messy. What am I looking at? Well, ultimately, this is your major resistance zone. Call that the range high. This is your major support zone. Call that the range low. And it's being held up by this dotted line over here, which is going to be your diagonal. Now, what I'll be watching is, as you can see, the stock market has already started to slightly pull back. This is the S&P 500 futures chart, which is already open. I said expect that there will be a little bit of a pullback over here. It's still technically bullish as long as it holds above this trend line over here. If you start to see the stock market come down like this and it starts to roll through this region and get back under 4,200, that would be incredibly bearish. Then you can say it's going to break back into the range and you continue to trade that like a range, right? Targeting back towards the mid-range and the bottom of that range. But as long as it holds above here and you see a pullback that might come into the 4,200 area, expect that that's going to be support and probably continuation higher. Your next liquidity is coming in at 4,327. So if price does bounce off of the low region at 4,200, expect that it's going to push up into this zone, and then we can reevaluate, is it going to reject and come down once again? So that's what I'm looking at over there. Essentially, in a nutshell, the S&P 500 is range bound. It's approaching the top side of that range. And although there is continuation higher, you do need to be cautious that when it does pull back, it doesn't take crypto down with it. The DXY, the correlation to the stock market over here is that you would expect if the stock market's going to continue back into its range, DXY should continue its trajectory up towards T2 and then potentially even T3, completing the W formation. Still no trade zone because we don't really have an answer here, right? It's slight bias towards the bullish side because you're holding above T1. If you break below T1, then you can confirm lower high, and then we target back down towards the lows, which we previously set at 100.8 on the DXY. All right, let's go on to Bitcoin over here with the super guppy. So currently still holding below the gray bands. It has yet to turn green. Ethereum did turn green and is narrowly holding right at the low bands of there. Remember, this is a conglomerate of different exponential moving averages. So technically speaking, if it holds below here for prolonged periods of time, that's going to start to serve as resistance, and this is going to start to roll over. So again, bulls do need to run price action very, very quickly. And when you look at both Bitcoin and Ethereum, so I'll go back to Bitcoin over here, this is not necessarily what you want to see. A big bullish engulfing candle on the daily, followed by almost a full-on reversal. Typically, you would have wanted to see a little bit of a pullback, maybe towards 26,500. 26.5 really was the major pivot level, which I personally was looking for price to hold above. And you wanted to see bulls step in and defend 26.5, send price immediately higher. That has not happened. You can see, look where it closed. Price closed at 26,352. And now we're working on the next daily candle. So if you look at Ethereum, it's pretty much the same thing over here. It didn't get a full-on bullish engulfing candle, but still a big candle nevertheless, and you almost fully retrace that entire ETH candle. So what does that mean? That basically means that I think with the Binance overhang of what's currently going on, in line with the choppy environment within price action, it's probably best to sit on the sidelines and remain in cash waiting for better decisions. There's a lot of indecisiveness within the market, and that's what creates those choppy ranges. Best thing to do is stick on the low time frames, maybe the 1 hour, 4 hour time frame, and you ultimately play the range, targeting the range high, short from range high back to range low, and then buy that support. That's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. So not to confuse you with all the false signals, but this is essentially the picture of what you have over here. Best to wait to break the range properly and then determine which is the next way to go. So pivot levels, we are stuck below the pivot level currently on Bitcoin, which is coming in at 26,541. Remember, 26.5, that is really the key level. If price starts to get back above 26.5 and show signs of life that it's wanting to hold that level on a reliable basis, then I may consider to re-enter my positions. So for those of you who missed out, I did put on my Twitter yesterday on response to the previous tweet that I made, whereby I said I had entered at $25,600 on a long. I then closed that position at about $26,700. And one of the reasons why was because, I'll show you on the low time frame in a bit, but we kept coming towards that 26.5 level and we were failing to hold it convincingly, so I decided to cut that position. So get back above the pivot level or come into the 23,400-ish level over here, which is the 200 MA, which also happens to be a long-term diagonal. That would be an area of interest where I may consider to get back in. Otherwise, I need to see more clear and concise price action from Bitcoin. The same thing for Ethereum. Here you have it below the pivot level. Pivot level is coming in at 1,861. We're holding below that. And then not only are we holding below these pivot levels, but you can see over here, if bulls don't run price action very, very quickly, then you have your EMAs, which are starting to turn bearish. Already, you have the yellow, which is approaching the pink one. That's the short term, going to cross over the longer term one, and that creates a pressure down scenario. Look at Bitcoin's one over here as an example. So there's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already got the yellow cross below the pink, and that's adding additional resistance. And then you can see the way that price action, or at least high time frame moving averages, these ones over here, the 200 EMA and the 200 MA, with the low time frame moving averages which we use, are starting to converge towards one another. That creates a pressure environment, right? As these move up, as these move down, and price consolidates in the middle over here, eventually you'll reach an apex. So I wouldn't be surprised if that apex happened right around when the FOMC meeting was going to be taking place next week. So that's what I'm watching over there. And if you look over here from into the cryptoverse, which is 𝗵𝗵𝗃, he says over here, this is his view on the altcoin market. So I thought, let's have a quick look at this.
If the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation breaks down, which I think it will, I think that will mark the final phase of this move, right? I think the dominance of Bitcoin will finally break out, and then you will see the penultimate stage of the altcoin reckoning. All right, that's my view on the market, and it has been for quite some time. I do hope that many of you have been able to take some cold showers for the last 16 months, avoid the altcoin market, because the altcoin market has not done really much of anything other than just slowly bleed. If the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation...
So that's his dubious speculation of Ethereum and the altcoin market, that it's pretty much going to continue down. And a lot of you may have seen that within the altcoins. Now, I thought we'll go through a couple of the altcoins in a moment's time. Let's first look at the Bitcoin dominance over here. So initially we said, well, if you start to break down these important key support levels, then you might have a return back to the supporting trend line, which could bring the dominance down to 45%. But at the end of the day, this is still holding more of a bullish picture than a bearish picture, in the sense that you have your bull flag, right? Big pole that comes up over here, consolidation. Remember, contrary to popular belief, a consolidation against a support or resistance level usually leads to a break of that level in an explosive fashion. So if you consolidate against this level over here and it continues to do so, it's more likely that you're going to have an explosive break towards the upside. In that instance, I have to agree with 𝗵𝗵𝗃 and say that yes, most likely there is going to be a continuation of the altcoin reckoning, and it's pretty much safer to be in Bitcoin, or if your altcoin pairing under the odd chances outperforming the Bitcoin chart, then fair enough, you play the altcoin. What should your chart look like? Well, very simply, it should be high highs and high lows. So make sure you mark off your ETH BTC chart, your Sol BTC chart, whatever it is. If your Solana BTC chart is going down like this, then it means you're literally better off being in Bitcoin, right? Why would you take a trade on something that is in a straight downtrend against Bitcoin when you could rather take something that's in an uptrend against Bitcoin, or just trade Bitcoin itself? So that's what we're looking at over there. And you can see here from others, right? It is coming into a key level. Remember, others represents coin number 11 on coin market cap all the way down to 20,000, however many coins there are. It excludes the top 10 coins. So if you look at others, this is really where you get into the mid caps to super low caps. And this is the level that we're looking at for the others, right? This is the others dominance, to be precise. So others dominance was holding this trend line beautifully for quite some time. We're now grinding into that level, and you have another trend line which matches from the ultimate lows that we placed in December coming in, as well as this would be the second touch point if it were to come into that level. So we're watching for something like this. If it grinds into that level, people may start to capitulate on their altcoins, and then maybe you start to see a bottom formation. You don't need to blindly bid this. I have to be clear on that. Don't blindly just long it as soon as it touches this trend line over here. Wait for some sort of a reaction and a reclaim. If it starts to move up, this is the safe entry above 9.58% on others. All right, let's move on to now the rest of the chart. So let's look at a couple of the altcoins. So Bitcoin is stuck below its key monthly level, and so are many of the different altcoins. I'm just going to kind of go through the list and show you in relation to their ranges, right? So I'm not going to explain the whole story over and over. Very simply put, you have your top area, which is the pink line. That would represent the range high. And then if you see something like that on the bottom, that's your range low, and that's your mid range. And we'll just kind of go through the list. So ETH looks okay. It's not too bad yet. Here you have Litecoin. It is still holding the 200-day moving average, which is typically a good thing, being driven obviously by the Litecoin halving, which I think is coming up in something like 2 months, so pretty soon. Now you have something like Solana. Solana against Bitcoin looks terrible, by the way. I have looked at the chart, but what about against the US dollar pairing? Well, it's starting to lose that mid-range level. It's also now fallen and closed below the 200-day moving average, which is typically not a good sign. And you have a series of lower highs and not lower lows yet, but probably it's going to move down into the bottom of this range at about $16. We'll reevaluate when it gets there, so keep your eye out on that. What about Cardano? Cardano technically is coming right into its range low. Yes, you had some massive deviations over here. Could it be that you'll get another deviation play like that? Very possible. All you need to do, put it on your watch list, check it every couple of days. If you see a squeeze down into this 28 cents level and maybe a reclaim of that at 32, now you have your trade, right? You can long it back to mid-range or into the 200 moving average and then take your final profit if it does actually even get there. All right. Oh, BNB, very interesting one. Obviously still also range bound, right? So here's your overall range. You got the range high at the top over here, mid-range, and your range low, stuck below the 200. But one thing I can tell you with BNB is it's being heavily shorted at the moment. So if you see the funding rates are extremely negative, let's say, for example, you want the absolute safest entry on something like this. Watch for it to grind down into the range low, which is coming in at $215. And if you get a swing failure pattern whereby it reclaims that level and everybody is shorting it due to obviously all the news events around Binance and CZ, then immediately you have a trade entry, right? Because those shorts will get squeezed. Definitely wouldn't be saying it's going to immediately recover, but maybe you'll get a big squeeze up like this, a diagonal downtrend, come into that level around the mid-range or at least the 25% of the overall range, but call this your main range over here, so mid-level of that, which is a big move, right? Up to 292, offload that, and then you can continue to short that one back down. So that is for BNB. Filecoin, also stuck below. It doesn't look good, guys. I mean, it's come below. This is the main range low. Yes, you had, call it a big deviation if you want. Deviation. Could this be another deviation? Possibly, but at the end of the day, it is stuck below its 200-day moving average and it's pressured down with Bitcoin dominance ticking on up. That creates a dangerous environment. Here is Atom. Broken the supporting trend line over there, has come into an important support level at that $9 zone. Will it bounce? I don't know yet. We have to wait to see. If it does, it's probably going to bounce back into the 200-day moving average, which is going to be additional resistance, and then that creates a short trade opportunity. MATIC. All right, MATIC also coming towards the range low. I'm going to start to go through everything quicker because I think you kind of have an idea of how I'm viewing it, right? Basically, if you're underneath the 200-day moving average and you're hitting the range low, a bounce off of that into the 200-day would serve as resistance, and therefore you could short it. If it reclaims that level, cool, you can go long. Now I just want to kind of rapidly go through all of the charts so that you can visually depict maybe one of the charts or coins that you have, so you can kind of see what's going on. I see 𝗪𝗏𝗄 says HEX over there. I'll show you HEX. I think HEX looks absolutely terrible, by the way. I know a lot of the HEX community are obviously super staunch fans of HEX and Pulse Chain and PulseX and the Richard Heart basically ecosystem, but you have to call a spade a spade. HEX looks bad. I'm going to show you HEX in a bit. Guys, smash the like button as well. Please make sure you give the video a like. It helps to get the show content out there, and that just sends it out to more people, which brings them the alpha. So, okay, let's go through very quickly. Link, approaching range low. AVAX, already losing those levels. Wait for a deviation back above the range low. Let's look at DOT. Terrible, already breaking the range lows, could be risking going to new lows. If it obviously deviates back into the range above $5, great, then it creates a trade opportunity. Bitcoin Cash, why I have this chart here, I don't even know, but underneath the 200 heading back towards the range lows. Okay, this is, what is this one called again? Tomo, I forgot the full name, but it's an AI coin. I mean, it's going to take a very long time before you ever recover any of that. It reminds me of GNS, big pump over here, retrace, probably just bleeds out over time. So not something I'll be looking to trade. ENS, terrible. Look at that, broke the diagonal trend line into major support. That shows you that the breakdown is probably going to be real. Very doubtful that you're going to get a deviation back into the range anytime soon. You'll probably be heading towards the new lows. Render. Okay, Render actually creates an interesting trade opportunity because it is coming into the top of the range high over here, and technically it is still holding structure. So if you look over here, let's just quickly grab this. Very simple trend line, just chuck it in like that. Doesn't need to be perfect. What's a trend line's purpose? To gauge the direction or the trend. So that's what you have over there. You have higher high, higher low, higher high. Could this be another high low into key support at $2? It could be, and then this might be one that's defying the odds. So look out for Render. If you are somebody that does up only, Render could be your coin. All right, looks rare. Looks terrible to me. It doesn't look rare. It looks like it's going to zero, and it's pretty much already broken below the range lows, and it's threatening to come below its ultimate low. Secret. Shocking. Look at that. I mean, what do you want me to say? Just bleeding out, also on its way to zero. Eventually it will find a bottom, by the way, so don't be scared. I mean, I'm obviously using hyperbole and exaggerating over here. Probably won't go to 0.0000000. It probably just bleeds out to a certain level, and then eventually demand kicks back in. But point is, it's downtrending, and that's a scary chart to be long on. Okay, Arbitrum. Let's quickly open this up. Okay, Arbitrum got major, let's fix that over there. There you go. Major resistance is going to be at $1.30. Not really a chart that I'm interested in dabbling in. I'd wait for it to reclaim $1.30 before getting interested. Sand. Okay, Sandbox. Look at that long-term downtrend. I'll make this line thicker for you guys to see. So look at that. Holding lower highs. Below the 200, look at that perfect short. That would have been such a beautiful short. You're coming directly into the trend line, reject off the 200-day moving average, easy short all the way back down into the bottom of the range low, coming in at 39 cents. RUNE, let's look at RUNE. So RUNE also threatening to make new lows. Look at that, it's stuck here below. Now it's lost the ultimate range lows. It's literally on its way to make fresh new lows. DYDX, so the DEX plays, coming into the mid-range over here, stuck below the 200, so technically pressured down as well. GNS. I know I'm really destroying your hopes and dreams, guys, but if you've been following me for a long time, then you're probably not a heavy investor in these coins, and you've probably been trading the market like a swing trader in the same way that I've, focusing on capital preservation and the occasional opportunity trade where you see clear indications of something to go long on. Okay, you have GNS downtrend over here, breaking below this key pink zone, which is right now where we're at $4.18. If you start to get acceptance under that, which so far it looks like you're going to, then expect you're going to head down to $2.90. GMX, here's GMX, losing the mid-range as well. Expect a move all the way back down to 38 cents. That is obviously if the market stays bad. If it's good, it will reclaim that level. Okay, here's Optimism. Optimism was one that I was looking at with a long-term trend line over here. He has stuck within the overall range. Look, it is probably going to break this level down because you've touched it so many times and due to the state of the rest of the market. But if you did take a long trade, you would have your stop underneath this wick over here, and you really want to see price rally from here very, very quickly. If you start to close candles below this trend line, which is right where price is now, then expect there's a high probability you're just going to break this down, because which way is the trend, right? The momentum has shifted towards the downside, and therefore you would expect that you're going to head into the pink zone over there. Okay, what is this? This is 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Poor 𝗬𝗏𝗏, Rand's coin. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is also looking at, I mean, it's made new lows. It's not looking at new lows, it's literally made new lows. So there it is. You can see the wicks over there. Look, if you start to bounce from here with 𝗬𝗏𝗏, then could this be the new range low? Could you say something like this, like that is the new range low, and price action is basically going to reclaim like this? Then cool, then maybe, yeah, you can go long over there and then you play it back up into the range. But so far, it's not looking like it's doing that. It's looking like the rest, the slow bleed, or as Benjamin Cowan said, the altcoin reckoning. The altcoin reckoning it's a very dramatic word, but it's true. So here you have Aptos, same thing. It looks similar to one of those other coins that I just showed. I think it was, which was the one I just said, Sand. It looks similar to Sand. Beautiful trade over there in the sense that, yes, you don't have a long, it's brand new coin, so you don't have a long-term 200-day moving average, but there it is, a big push up into that rejection. I would expect, again, any push into the trend line rejection, and you're heading down towards $3.80. Okay, Blur. All right, guys, let me know in the comments as well. Are you enjoying this? Do you want me to continue with the altcoins? If you want me to continue with the altcoins, say yes. Say yes, continue. Or you can just say yes. You don't have to type a long message. If you don't want me to, say no, like move on. Let's get into the rest of Bitcoin because I have work and things to do in my life. Okay. Here we're holding below this important level at 50 cents. Expect probably also going to move back down towards the 10 cent zone. That is on Blur. Okay, I said I'm trying to see we're waiting for the comments to catch up. Okay, yes. Good morning. Okay, cool. We're going to carry on then. Okay, Dogecoin coming into a key level as well. But look, this level has been tested a lot. If there's anything good news that comes out from crypto or the market starts to pump, then I would expect that this range low will hold. Otherwise, if it starts to break down this range low, then typically what I would do is I start to create, all you can do, guys, is work level to level, right? Then you now need to start to look to those ultimate lows as the next zone around that 5 cents level, which may get tagged on Doge. Okay, Compound. Same as the rest. You can see range low, wait for a deviation back into the range, then you can maybe go long. Otherwise, it's just going to bleed out. Vulcan Forge. Vulcan Forge is coming into an interesting place because you do have this zone, which was the range lows at $2.50 to $2.80. It is also coming into a diagonal. If the market were to bounce, I think that's a high confluence trade. You could technically go long over there. Okay, Vela. Also, not much to say, guys. Look at this slow bleeding. Remember these markets, right? The way that they work, this coin is a good example. They don't just suddenly go from here and then just right into reaccumulation and a massive rally, right? You'll go into a long-term accumulation. So usually look at as long as it went down for like that, you can basically replicate that line to the side and you can say you're going to go through a long-term accumulation like this before you see something like this start to rally. Coins don't just, unless they manipulate it, they don't just move like that. They have to go through a very prolonged period of reaccumulation. Chainlink is one that doesn't look too bad in terms of its reaccumulation. Has been for over a year already. So, but a coin like this, guys, look at that. It's only been going sideways since May. So it's got a long way to go. Okay, next, what is this one over here? ApeCoin. ApeCoin's also threatening to make new lows. Strong downtrend over here below the 200. Eventually, there will obviously be these relief rallies, right? Short guys that are shorting the market will get squeezed out, whether they're getting squeezed by choice or because they want to take profits. And that ultimately leads to a snapback into those 200-day moving averages. Big moves, that just creates a new opportunity to go short again, and you can continue to short the market. These things play out over months, so just keep that in the back of your mind. It plays out over a very long period of time. Okay, Lido. Here's Lido coming into the 200-day. Not that much history. Very hard to gauge this one. I don't really have a lot to say. It's in the middle of no man's land, so no comment. You can see the range over there. NEAR, absolutely terrible. Can you believe it? The ETH killer, how disappointing. Range low, deviation came back up, rejected off the 200, and now we're coming back into or breaking below the range low once again. Same thing, expect eventually there will be a snapback, come into the 200, and then you short it again. So you might want to set alerts. If you have the premium trading view account, you can set a ton of alerts. You can kind of track these, and then you just revisit it once a week. If you see a big snapback into the 200, it's another short trade for you, right? Energy Web token, pump and dump over here. You can see somebody obviously spoke about it. Came straight into the 200-day moving average and rejected, came back down. You're right at the range low. Similar to Link, though, I would say. I do think fundamentally this could potentially be, based on everything I've seen, quite a good coin in the long term. Hence, it is on my portfolio list over here, or my watch list. But expect that this range trade could continue for a long period of time. And eventually what you'll see is the guys that have been holding here for a long period of time, there will probably come a time where this area gets wiped, right? You might see some big scare where you get a big move down like that. Now, that is the area where you want to capitalize. It probably comes back in. These guys all puked out their positions because they got so overholding it for such a long time where it didn't do anything. And there you get back into the trade. Okay, so that's something that I'm watching over there. What about Uniswap? Okay, Uniswap looks shocking. I'm going to go through a bit quicker. Okay, major low. Okay, I skipped curve. Bad. Alice. Range low. Bad. A0. Not really a pretty chart over here. Luxo losing the main trend line, losing the 200, heading back down towards 430. Yes, I'll do Phantom. I see you guys want Phantom. I'm going to do Phantom. It's coming. Okay, IMX also losing the 200, heading back down to the range low. Sushi, look at that. New lows. Terrible. What can you say? 𝗵𝗵𝗵. Okay, 𝗵𝗵𝗵, I saw there was something about a big whale loading up on 𝗵𝗵𝗵. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Point is, yes, it is coming into the range low. If the whale is loading up on 𝗵𝗵𝗵 and you start to see it move and reclaim around this this area, starts to break structure to the upside, cool, there could be a long trade opportunity there, but remember, you want to take profit into the next resistance. Okay, here's Phantom. So same thing, all right, it's range bound over here. More or less the 200 MA is coming in at about 37 cents, which is exactly where your mid-range would be. That is your resistance, and that's going to cap price to the downside. So you need to get above that in order to head back to the range high. Otherwise, it's going to bleed down into this 17 cents zone. Okay, let's go on to this one. Mana. As a matter of fact, it's also at the range lows. So not looking good. Engine, bad. What is this? Ultra coming into the range lows. Gaming token as well. Ocean. Okay, Ocean wouldn't really take the trade. It is coming into the 200-day moving average. Not much history. You can see it only started over here, but stuck in the range below the mid-range, probably heading towards the range low. The graph also losing the 200. Superfarm. Okay, coming into the Superfarm's pretty interesting. Let's see how long is this thing's... Look, it has a bit of history over here. The 200-day moving average started already back in October of 2021, and it's coming into a key support level. Let's just draw this across. It is breaking that trend line now, but if you see it bounce off the 200-day moving average, it might give you another spike up, right? So these are just quick trade ideas. If you see a spike like that, that's huge. That's like 27% to there. Maybe still create a lower high, 40% move. If you want the gamble, it is there. Okay, Gala Also breaking below the range lows, similar to the rest. X2Y2, my friend 𝗕𝗏𝗫𝗧 coin, which got me wrecked, bleeding out to zero. So I'll just become an investor now. I'm a hodler on that one. Anchor, also below the range lows. 𝗕𝗏𝗫𝗪 was a great coin, proof of work coin, so not too bad. Look, it's an ugly chart, guys. Look at that. I mean, this is going to be, even if you do get a massive bounce, it's probably going to be a complacency bounce, something like that. And over time, it's just going to bleed out. So be very, very careful. You can see for the most part, these altcoins look shocking. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go through the rest of this list. Let's just quickly go to HEX for our friends over there. So here's HEX. I mean, look, I drawn this as a target way back. This is 0.017, which people crucified me for even suggesting that it could come there. We've literally lost that level. Well, when I say we, I mean the Hexicans have lost that level. It's very bad, guys. I mean, the chart doesn't go any further than that, at least on this chart. I don't know if there's another place where I can find more history of this chart, but this is an incredibly strong downtrend. It's going to take a long time. This is going to take a long time. I don't see... Look at that. I don't know what you want me to say about this. I know the HEX community, they're very passionate and they probably want me to say something positive, but I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you on that one. Okay, next. Bitcoin on the short time frames. Okay, so what's going on over here? We cap below 26,500. That means risk remains to the downside. You can see also you're below the 50, below the 200. You have the stochastic RSI reaching towards the top over there. This is all resistance. Currently, there's more reason for me to be out the market than in the market, personally speaking. I'd rather just wait for some sort of resolution. Yes, if you start to sweep back into this range once again, maybe at some point today, I'll look for an opportunity to get long. If I see something like that, then I might take another long into this 28K level. I made decent profit just on this small leg over here. You can do very, very well. It's not a bad move. That's like, I think it was like 7 or 8%. So if I get another chance to take a move like that, I'll take that move. Otherwise, for now, I'll continue to sit out the market. You can see on the 7-day heat map chart over here, the main liquidity is still stacked between 27,600 and 28,200. So expect at some point there probably will be a big spike into that zone, but really until such time as you clear above this level and consistently hold it, maybe on a consolidation basis, or you retest it as a higher low. Until that happens, it is going to probably just be a trap scenario whereby price is going to push into the zone and immediately capture the liquidity. Everyone's going to get very excited and it's probably going to move the other way. Okay, so keep a close eye out on that. If you look at the funding rate here, most of the guys have started to go long already. You got $8 billion worth of longs that can be squeezed out of the market. I wouldn't say that that's too much yet. I think this can continue to build, which is why I'm open for the opportunity that price may come into that 28K level still. All right. Same thing over here. This is the low time frames. I think this is our final chart that I'm going to show you. I am using indicator over here. So I'm using the price action concepts. I saw yesterday a whole bunch of you joined Lux Algo. So let me know what you guys think of it and how you find it. I have found it pretty useful in the sense that for this range trading environment, it's been absolutely great. So basically, how did I trade this? Well, firstly, we said in the top over here, I was out of the market. Price came in. I was watching to go long over here. Came back up. When it printed this volume print over here, it shows you 31% of the volume came in at this level. So I knew it was going to be an impulsive move up. I took the long trade over there. I didn't go short over here. I didn't close the position yet. But when it came in here and you printed the 12% order block over here, suggesting that this is probably going to lead to continuation down, that's why I closed my position at about 26,600. I didn't get out at the exact spot. I closed at about 26.6, and then obviously price came down. We now have a range, right? Clearly defined range high, range low. Yellow line over here is the mid range. Pretty much we need to start to hold above the yellow at 26.5 in order for this to continue on up. Otherwise, it's just range bound with more risk towards the downside, more risk that this range will eventually break down, right? And then you head towards that 23 zone. So if you are interested in Lux Algo, you can get a massive discount by using my link. You get, firstly, 30 days risk-free. If you want a refund, you can get it. Otherwise, you can click over here on the link. Where is it? Lux Algo. Use my promo code. I think my head's in the way. There we go. Use my promo code. Let's put that up. KD30. If you type that in, you get 30% off the Lux Algo indicators. By the way, I want to mention there is also free versions. So the pro versions are obviously a lot sharper, cleaner, and they give you a lot more flexibility to adjust things the way that you want to adjust them, and more time frames that you can work on. But there are free indicators. And then one more thing to shout out OKX, because they have an unlock of up to $30,000 in rewards. How does it work? Well, again, same thing. You'll need to sign up using my link on OKX. Where's OKX? Here we go. There you go. And then you can unlock up to $30,000. Click on that link. It will take you over here. You register an account, then you open up the mystery box. You can get up to $10,000 in that. Step 2, make a deposit. And then you deposit more than $50, right? $50 or more. It unlocks another box which has up to $10,000 in. And then step 3, take a trade, right? Any trades that you take will unlock the potential to get another mystery box of up to $10,000. That's it from me, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Please smash the like button and help to get the show content out there. And then I will see you all, maybe not tomorrow. I have to do other recordings tomorrow. So there's a good possibility I won't be here tomorrow. Just when you wake up, have a look if there's a thumbnail uploaded. If not, I will see you on Monday. Have a great day, weekend, and till I see you again. Cheers for now.